Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have another rebuild, and today we're going down to the Sky Bet Championship to have a look at Huddersfield Town. And as you see on the screen right now, Huddersfield are having an absolute howler this season, sitting all the way down in 18th. A team that formerly the Premier League has some great memories in the Premier League, in that short stint back in, of course, the top flight. Hopefully, within this rebuild, we can take them back to the Premier League within this rebuild. But it's going to be a bit of an interesting twist on this rebuild, because as you can see on our transfer budget now, we have £0 to spend, and our plan is for the whole of this rebuild, we're going to have absolutely zero to spend. We are making no player transfers at all, unless they are free agents or coming in on loan, costing us absolutely nothing. Because basically, during this rebuild, we noticed Huddersfield got into a lot of debt and even had a minus transfer budget for a lot of these transfer windows. So it's going to be quite interesting one to see how we can do without spending any money throughout a 5-year rebuild of Huddersfield, and see how far we can take this team. Can we get them back to the Premier League? Can we get them achieving further than staying in the Premier League? Or will it involve a relegation of down to the Sky Bet League 1, or even from the Premier League back to the Sky Bet Championship? Let's find out. We'll go to the team now and have a look at them at the start of season number 1. So we come in now, day 1 here at the Huddersfield job, and using, of course, the MurphFM squad filter, we can see straight away, based on star ability, who some of our best players are here at Huddersfield. The likes of Healy in defence, Polish international defender at this point, 27 years of age, 6'3". He's a big lad, jumping reach of 17, heading of 15. A lot of set pieces will be focused going through this guy, I reckon, in this first season. With the likes of Silber Thomas, of course, Delano, who's on loan this season as well. He comes in on loan from Mainz this season as maybe a striker, a bit of a utility, right winger, left winger as well. Probably more so in this 4-2-3-1. We're going to get into in a moment. Maybe on that left wing, cutting inside onto that right foot, because he has some pretty good attributes for that role. I think he can probably do a bit of a role in that position this season. And going on to the tactic, we're going to be using the MurphFM Ultimate 4-2-3-1 for this season. We're pressing forward, an inside forward, an inverted winger, and of course an AM on attack, with 2 DMs playing in behind, 2 wing backs on support, 2 ball playing defenders, and a sweeper keeper on defend. So we've seen the team here briefly over at Huddersfield. Our media prediction for this season is 23rd, so a relegation zone finish is predicted for us this season. In the Sky Bet Championship, do we avoid the drop? Of course, we're spending no money within this rebuild as well. Can we beat the drop by staying up this season, or can we do one better and aim for the top half table in the Sky Bet Championship? Let's find out how we got on at the end of season number 1. Right then, so we're back at the end of season number 1. We're predicted to get 23rd this season, and we've done a lot better than that this season, getting 8th in the Sky Bet Championship. A very good season for Huddersfield. You can see now on screen, in 46 games, winning 22, drawing 10, only losing 14 games all season. And we scored 70 goals this season, so not a bad return. Only a couple of points, 5 points off getting in the playoffs in our first season here at Huddersfield, using this 4-2-3-1 system. Not bad for a team that we did get relegated this season. Within the domestic trophy, we got to the third round of the FA Cup before being knocked out by Stoke City, and the Carabao Cup when we got as far as the second round before being knocked out by Premier League opposition in Sheffield United. But our main guy this season will be Danny Ward up front this season, bagging 13 goals in 32 appearances here in the Sky Bet Championship, making the Dragons to a top half finish in our first season here at Huddersfield. The redemption arc for Huddersfield, can we get them back into the Premier League? It's a good start getting a top half finish, but we've got a lot of work to do yet to get them promoted back into the Premier League. And of course, as we've mentioned, transfer budget wise, we're going to have zero money to spend in this first window, our first full window here going into season number 2 with Huddersfield. So no money to spend. How on earth we're going to improve this team? Wage wise, there's like 20 grand to use there in wages. We could actually get someone on a free transfer possibly with some of that money, and hopefully we can try and get this team onto the next step now and aim for a pass finish this season. But sadly, the likes of Delano, I don't think matter keep after his loan spell at the club. He had a very good season to be fair as well, getting 11 goals and 7 assists in 38 appearances. But in terms of a loan move, he's got a $1 million option to buy him, but we can't spend any money within this new window. So he ain't going to come back to us just yet, but he does run out of contract with Mainz next season. So maybe someone we can keep an eye on for the brand new season going to season number 3. But for now, let's go and see how we've gotten on as we go ahead now towards season number 2. Today's video is sponsored by Sneak Energy. Sneak Energy is a sugar-based energy drink in a powder format which you put into your drinks. With a wide variety of flavours, you simply add the powder into your drink, as I'm going to show you right now. So as you can see behind me, I do have some of my Sneak in behind me here. Keep it here nice and close to me for whilst I'm streaming, whilst I'm recording. So I can just grab a glass of water and chuck it straight in there. And for today, we're using a bit of cherry bomb. So get your scuba cherry bomb, put it into your Sneak flask here. Drop it in there like so, put your cup back together, then simply give it a shake. And just like that, you have your energy drink on the go to drink wherever you go. And with my affiliate link down below, you can get a discount on all your orders today. So get those orders straight away and let me know in the comment section if you manage to get an order through using that code. So as we come back now for season number 2 at Huddersfield here in the Sky Bet Championship, our media predictions actually gone up quite a lot here, actually. In a 15th position this season, which means we'll stay in the division quite easily. But, of course, last year, we had 23rd. We got a top half finish, so hopefully we can do better than that 15th media prediction and aim for playoffs this second season. But, of course, transfers have happened. Let's dive in and have a look at some of those transfers right now. So, of course, when the last season finished, of course, you can get a bit of time before July 1st to get some business done. And straight away, we went to the loan market. We went to Man City and took 3 loanees straight away from Manchester City. Starting things off with Finley Burns. He comes on from Man City for the season, now on loan as a centre-back option. Looks really, really good. 6'5", 21 years of age, right foot centre-back. An absolute mountain at the back. And I feel like this guy could be a presence at the back with Helich this season. Joining him next was Dario Sarmiento, of course, coming on loan also from Manchester City. Can play on the left wing, can play through the middle. Can probably play as a striker as well, but that low finishing, but got a high composure of 14. He might have enough to get us a few goals this season. And coming in at the back, then a bit more of a rotational option, it's Max Allen coming in from Man City on loan for the season. 6'3", good jumping reach to the back. Him not bad in terms of tackling at 14 as well, positioning of 14. Looks pretty good, but I feel with Helich starting as well this season, with Finley Burns probably starting alongside him, this guy could probably be the backup this season for centre-back. And of course, I mean, a few outgoings from the club as well. Looks like Ecclestone, High and Jackson all leaving your loans and transfers. 1.3 million coming for Scott High to Bristol City as well. Was quite a big bit of profit to make on the player. But of course, we've mentioned already, we're not spending any money this window. But we did do 2 more transfers. Casteels came in on a free transfer down to Huddersfield. An absolutely mental transfer that this guy actually came all the way down to the Sky Bet Championship. Probably of Wolfsburg, Hoffenheim, Genk as well. He's been around in Germany and Belgium for quite a few years now. But he makes a switch now to the Sky Bet Championship to come and play for Huddersfield. We managed to put what money we did have left over into his wages, spending £18,250 a week on his wages, but this is the sort of keeper that can get you promoted to the Premier League. And then coming in on loan for the season from Sheffield United, Daniel Gibson comes in now as a 20-year-old striking option for the club. He has great acceleration and agility, about 14 and 15 in there, dribbling and finishing, composure and first touch of all 11s and 13s as well. At 20 years of age, he could probably be a goal machine in the Championship this season, coming in to the Sky Bet Championship. This guy looks really, really good, and I'm hopeful he can get the goals this season to help us get that playoffs finish. And now with the likes of Casteels, Jebison, all in this team now. Burns getting at the back of Helich as well. I mentioned Sarmiento playing the cam role this season. This is how the team's going to line up now going into season number 2. I'm hopeful that we can get into the playoffs this season. With this team, it's definitely good enough to have a good position. Of course, his tactics worked very well in the first season. Hopefully, we have just about enough about us to get us promoted, or at least into the playoffs this season. As we go through now, season number 2 of Huddersfield, let's see how we get on. We're spending 0 money trying to get Huddersfield back into the Premier League. So, season number 2 comes to an end. You can see the league table on screen right now. We got promoted through the playoffs with Huddersfield in just our second season, getting a 6th place finish, narrowly making it into the playoffs. Only by 1 point this season, we've managed to do just about enough to win the playoffs and get Huddersfield back into the Premier League. But let's start on the league form first. Of course, you see now in 46 games, we've won 23 games, drawn 11, losing 12 all season, scored 84 goals all season. That is the most goals in the Sky Bet Championship this season with this team that we've put out for this season. It started off with the playoff semi-final where Huddersfield took on Ipswich Town and beating them 4-2 over 2 legs. And you see right below there as well, Southampton absolutely trumped Sunderland, winning 6-1 that second leg, which meant we had a hard task taking on Southampton in the playoff final. But as you can see, an early goal for Huddersfield from a set piece. Of course, we do a little bit of set pieces within this tactic. An early goal from the boys, maybe a head home and take an early lead. But then it got to the 82nd minute. We had a 1-0 lead for so long. We thought we're going all the way. And then Decore got the ball here for Southampton, puts it past Casteels to make it 1-1. But in literally stoppage time, moments away from going to extra time, Huddersfield get the ball with Fells on the left-hand side, finds Dario Sarmiento, drives it across the box. The keeper misses it, and Jones puts it away, which means a 2-1 victory thanks to Patrick Jones, 94th minute winner, to hit Huddersfield go back to the Premier League. And we mentioned that Jebson could be one of our main guys this season. He bagged 29 goals in 46 appearances this season. The likes of Sorba Thomas getting 12 goals and 12 assists as well. He's from centre-back getting 10 goals as well. We mentioned those big headers from that guy at the start of season number 1. He's still bagging goals here in the Championship this season. Karoma getting 10 goals as well in there, and it'd be very much separated between quite a few players, getting a lot of goals this season, but it's been enough to see Huddersfield now get promoted back into the Premier League. And we mentioned there'd be financial problems with this rebuild as well. You can see straight away our transfer budget now is at minus £10 million. So not only do we have no money to spend, we've got less than money. We've got minus £10 million to spend this transfer window. So it means free agency, loans, and bringing up kids from our youth. And don't get me wrong, the likes of Ollie Palmer looks pretty damn good on screen right now. 17 years of age. He's quite developing quite nicely as well. Maybe a few of these kids will come into the team for the last 2 seasons, but right now they're not very just yet. So maybe season number 3 in the Premier League, we can loan these guys out, try and get them up there. Maybe by the last season, they'll be ready to come face up in the Premier League. So there we have it. In season number 2, Huddersfield promoted back to the Premier League. Now, can we keep this team up in the Premier League for 3 more seasons. Let's find out now to get to the start of season number 3 and see what we've managed to do transfer business-wise with minus £10 million here at Huddersfield Town. So here we go then. The Premier League is about to start. It kicks off today with our first trip with a John Smith Stadium visit for Chelsea, coming all the way up to Huddersfield for our first game of the Premier League season. How can we get on? They're already missing the likes of Reece James, Lukaku and Sterling already, so maybe we'll have a good chance. But again, probably not, because again, we've made no acquisitions and we're really going to struggle this season here in the Premier League. Let's dive in actually and have a quick look at the season preview. How are we looking in terms of this team doing this season within the season preview? I'm guessing it's going to be a long shot that we actually can do anything this season. 20th place, rock bottom, they recommend to come this season. That's not what you want to see. But of course, with no money to spend, it's going to be an interesting transfer window. And we've been busy in the market bringing in 7 free transfers. And the first one you might have heard of, it's Victor Wanyama. He makes a trip now back to England after leaving Tottenham Hotspur a couple of seasons ago now. He now makes a trip back here to come play for Huddersfield. And of course, after Victor left Tottenham Hotspur, he went over to the MLS, but with Montreal, that wasn't actually in the top flight over there in America. They eventually made it up there, but he's now made the free switch now back to the Premier League to come play for Huddersfield Town. And I mean, at 34 years of age, he can play the DM, he can play the CM role. He's still pretty good strength on him, good work rate, teamwork, positioning. A lot of the key mental attributes are still really there for him, but physically, he's starting to decline now. He's 34 years of age, but Victor Wanyama makes the switch now over to Huddersfield Town. We then put another midfielder in Lucas De Los Santos. Looks pretty darn good this year in FM. Not used him before, never really heard the guy before, honestly. But he looks pretty darn good. Can play the right back role, can play right wing, can play centre back, and even plays a CDM and even as a CM. But again, straight away, a lot of good attributes on there. Good high work rate, teamwork. The tackling and marking aren't great as a defensive option, but I quite like the heading and the long shots, quite good at 13 there for a 6-foot player as well. And after spending most of his career over in Uruguay, he had 2 seasons over in Mexico, but has now made the free switch now over to the Premier League. Next up, formally, of playing in Czech Republic in Italy with Torino most recently, we have brought in David Zima. He's a centre-back, 6'3". Of course, Finley has left us now back to Man City. The Man City loans have all gone back to their parent club now. We're in the Premier League, so we're not having none of them boys this season, and we're bringing our own talent through. And Zima comes through as a 24-year-old centre-back who looks really darn good. Good jump and reach of 15, heading of 14, so again for set-piece goals, Zima can definitely do that. Marking of 14 as well, tackling of 13, looks pretty darn good, positioning pretty good at 12 as well. We've mentioned his height already. He looks pretty good, very good mentals on him as well. Physicals are pretty darn good, strength of 14. I really like David Zima. He's probably going to be our new centre-back starting this season alongside Healich in that defence. And next up, we managed to get Neil Maupay on a free transfer here to Huddersfield Town. Of course, formerly of Brentford, Brighton, Everton. He went back to Brentford in real life on loan this season, of course. But he went back to Everton after that last season. And he had 8 starts for Everton last season before being released on a free transfer. And now we've managed to poach him up here at Huddersfield. And on 27 grand a week, it's not a bad bit of business, really. There's a relegation release clause in there, of course, of 3.2 million, minimum release clause of 6.5 million. So eventually he could move on if he has a good season. But sadly, we couldn't get Jefferson in this season again from Sheffield United. So Neil Maupay will have to make do instead. Next up was Luton Town's Pelly Ruddock Bapanzu making the switch now over to Huddersfield. Of course, he's most well known for his time at Luton Town, getting them into the Premier League. But within this game, last season they were relegated down to the Sky Bet Championship. He played the whole season for them, getting 2 goals in 26 games as well. Had a pretty good season, but was a vibe on a free transfer. We've swooped up and brought him now over to Huddersfield and bringing him back into the Premier League. Next up is one for the Watford fans. It's always a success. Of course, he had a bit of time at Watford between 2016 and 22 as well before moving to Udinese for 1.5 million. But he's now made a free transfer switch now back to the Premier League. Success is pretty good as well. If they can play as a winger, can play as a striker, and he's got a good range of attributes as well. They're all pretty high numbers. You don't really see anything really low in terms of the mentals, apart from that positioning of 8. Physically as well, 14s and 13s for the majority as well. Good finishing, good first touch, decent dribbling as well at 13. I do like that about him as well. Technique of 15. Could be a very good player in the Premier League still. At 29 years of age now, he'll probably be our starting striker this season with Neil Maupay playing back up to Isaac's success. And finally, we have Abdallah Seamat coming in on a free transfer, joining us here at Huddersfield. Of course, Seamat in real life has been a Brighton player for a couple of seasons, been out on loan now to the likes of Angers and Rangers in real life. Of course, for Brighton, hasn't really ever played as well. Last season in their team, he only had 1 appearance whole season, and now has been released on a free transfer to join us here at Huddersfield Town. He's a bit of a pace merchant of 16 acceleration, 14 pace, good dribbling of 14, finishing of 15. He could play as a winger or as a striker this season, but as a right footer, I'm thinking maybe on this left-hand side, cutting onto that right foot, or maybe even as another striker, utility striker this season, could you see him in that role? But if we go down over the tactics, of course, the 4-2-3-1 is still in there. If we go now over, pick out restrictions, pick my best 11, the same success would start. It doesn't mean Seaman's getting the team at all. Looks like Neil Maupay not in the team as well, but De Los Santos makes that switch now into the CM role. So, a bit of an interesting team, how it looks right now. It looks quite good as well. So, interesting to see how we can get on now in this first season here in the Premier League with Huddersfield. As we go now, the season number 3, and hopefully we can just remain in the Premier League. Right then, so we're back now for the end of season number 3. Our first in the Premier League. Did we survive? We narrowly survived. We managed to stay in the Premier League this season on 38 games, winning 10, drawing 7, losing 21 games this season. And on 37 points, we are 5 points adrift to Crystal Palace, who have relegated this season. Alongside Wolverhampton Wanderers and Blackburn, we managed to get Huddersfield in the division, getting a 17th place finish. And one of the big games of the season was late towards the end of the season. We took on West Ham. In the 94th minute, we managed to pop up with a winner to take 3 points. An absolute mistake, a howler here by West Ham. We saw Neil Maupay get a vital victory for Huddersfield Town, which now means we have enough points to remain in the Premier League. But as you can see from the team view right now, there wasn't an abundance of goals this season. Rodoni managed to get 10 goals and 2 assists this season. Neil Maupay managed to bag himself 8 goals. Thomas on 6. Seamer getting 4. There wasn't that many goals this season, but of course, it's going to be a team that's really going to struggle to remain in the top flight for these next few seasons. We managed to do it through season number 1, getting 17th place finish here with Huddersfield Town. But yeah, that transfer budget's only getting worse and worse. We got now a minus 21 million transfer budget, of course. Overall balance is 71 million in the bank as well. So there's a lot of money in the bank for remaining in the Premier League, but the transfer budget is absolutely muddied with minus 21 million pounds. And if you're wondering how this has happened, there is a bug in the game right now where some of these teams, when they're getting promoted, they're just failing to get the money through and the transfer budget getting less and less. So if you do notice this stuff, of course, make sure you report it in the SI forum. It has been reported already. My good friend Steve Hood did a rebuild the other day as well, which will be linked at the end of this video as well, down below, where he had the same sort of situation as well happen to that as well. So make sure, check that one out as well. But yeah, this is happening in a few saves this year to keep an eye on it whenever you do start a brand new save. So season number 3 comes to an end. We remain in the Premier League with Huddersfield Town for this season. We got minus 21 million to spend. So using wage budget again for free transfers and loans is going to be very, very important within this rebuild to see if we can get a team good enough to remain once again in the Premier League for season number 4. But let's see how we look now at the start of the season as we go ahead over to season number 4. Right then, we're back for season number 4 now with Huddersfield Town. Once again, our media prediction is 20th place. 3 teams have been promoted from the Championship, and we're still ranked below all 3 of those teams. So that doesn't look like a good sign already here at Huddersfield Town ahead of this brand new season. But let's see then, of course, we've mentioned money-wise. There'll be no money to spend. What have we managed to do with this team? Of course, end of last season, we ended up like this team with the likes of Wanyama coming in, Success, Seamer. It was pretty darn good. We've managed to do one better. We've bought in practically a whole brand new team, all on free transfers here at Huddersfield Town. Starting off with former Chelsea youth prospect Ike Ugbo comes in now as a free transfer. Another striking option for us here. Canadian international by this point, 26 caps for Canada as well. A very good player on 47 grand a week. It's a lot of money for Ugbo, but I do feel there is goals in this striker. Alongside Success and Maupay, we've got a lot of good attacking options now going into a second season here in the Premier League. Of course, he was at Chelsea until the end of the 21-22 season before finally leaving for getting for 3.5 million. And even then had a few loan moves, went to Troyes eventually, went back on loan to Cardiff in this save as well, before eventually the last few seasons not really doing great over at Troyes in the second tier of French football before they got promoted last season to Ligue 1. You got 1 goal in that season. So we're hopeful he can do something from the bench for this season. But sadly, we did see Castells leave us for Saudi Arabia, offering some big money, £78,000 a week, for a free transfer. So off he made the switch now over to Saudi Arabia, which meant we needed a brand new keeper. So Jakub Stojkovic, hopefully I pronounced that name anywhere near correct. I probably haven't, but he comes in now as a free transfer, joining us from Leicester City. Next up, we had Connor Bradley coming a free transfer, of course, leaving Liverpool in this game. Again, at Liverpool, not really playing any minutes as well. Came available for a free transfer, so Connor Bradley now makes the switch over to Huddersfield Town. We brought in Elias Olofsson as a backup goalkeeper for the season. And then a brand new centre-back in Scott McKenna, 29 years of age, leaves Nottingham Forest on a free transfer to come play here at Huddersfield Town. Next up, we got another right back in there in Coutinho. He's a free transfer and looks pretty darn good at age 26 now. You can see straight away, positioning of 12, good pace and acceleration there as well, 15 for each of those. Crossing, dribbling, first touch, all at 12s and 13s. He'd been at Real Art for the entirety of his career, before coming on a free transfer now over to Huddersfield Town. We then thought we'd improve left back, and Lucas Digne was available after leaving Aston Villa on a free transfer. 33 years of age, still got the legs about him as well, still got some very good physicals, mentals, and then even technicals, the crossing of 16 as well, doing by a free kick taking of 16, some set pieces. could be in the woodwork for us this season. But he was then joined by the Man City pairing of Jan Kotzer, who came available on a free transfer, can play left and right back, and Oscar Bob came available, who can play a variety of midfield positions, including playing in that attacking line this season. And following their free transfers, leaving Wolverhampton Wonder was Chiquinho, who's available on a free transfer, so we've also thrown him in there as well. Which meant ahead now the brand new season, this is how we're going to line up. We're actually going to try Jan Kotzer in a more attacking role, looking at his attributes. So I touched on him briefly a minute ago. I want to get more of a deep dive now into Jan Kotzer, because, again, defensively, he's not great tackling of 9, but he's used more as a right back in real life. But I can see in this game him being a lot more of a threat in those attacking roles. Got a reasonable left foot, a very strong right foot, but I'm going to play him on this right-hand side, though. Because, again, I'm liking the crossing of 14, the dribbling of 14, the first touch of 13. As an attacking option, I reckon he can be really good this season. So we're going to try him a bit more in an attacking role now. At 24 years of age, could definitely be an absolute baller in the attacking role here at Huddersfield this season. But the team is ready. Season 4 is upon us. Can we survive yet again in the Premier League with Huddersfield Town? Let's go to the end of the season right now and see how we get on with Huddersfield. So following a mere prediction of 20th this season, we have managed to survive yet again with Huddersfield, getting 16th place in the Premier League, avoiding the drop, but good 2 points in the end, narrowly avoiding the drop. We left it late, we've managed to do it yet again here with Huddersfield Town, with Luton, Leicester and Burnley all getting relegated back down to the Sky Bet Championship. And one of those important games this season was this one versus Leicester City. Of course, Leicester getting relegated in the end. It was a 5-3 victory for Huddersfield. The likes of Radoni putting a little chinky jink in over there, over Sanchez. Then Karoma from the spot managed to bag this one. We started the second half of an absolute monster attack, getting all the bodies forward. Kramer getting the ball now on this side, puts it into the box, and Morpay bagged it home. In the end, Huddersfield managed to win at 5-3. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't a season where we did very, very well. You can see here the lot of losses on screen. We beat the likes of Fulham and Bournemouth in there, some big victories there. Beating Leicester back-to-back, beating Luton. We beat the teams below us, but the teams above us again. We're still getting battered, like 4-1 by Everton here, 3-0 by Aston Villa. Some big defeats, 5-0 to Man City, 4-0 to Arsenal. We're nowhere near them teams, but we're surviving in the Premier League just about every season. And as you see domestically on screen again, we're still nowhere near. Actually, Leicester only beat us once this season. That was in the FA Cup, and we lost to Leeds in the Carabao Cup. But thankfully, but Neil Morpay, who is the big surprise package so far of this save, I thought so far he might be the rotation striker behind success, behind someone else. And every season, he seems to do better and better, managing to get 13 goals this season. And it was those 13 goals that thankfully kept us in the Premier League for another year. And of course, with minus 21 million in the bank yet again, overall balance over 100 million now. So again, you see where the bug is within this game right now. The money is there, but none of it's filtering out the transfer budget. So we're getting nothing to spend yet again. We can go down to season number 5. We've got a big wage budget of 200 grand to spend, which is quite nice though. So thankfully, free transfers and loans, that's what we're going to do for the entirety of this save. Now to go ahead to season number 5, and hopefully we can do just about enough to get us safe and survive in the Premier League for one more season. Right then, so we're coming back now then, season number 5, and once again, that mid prediction still says 20th place for Huddersfield. They do not believe in us at all in this league. We've had it 20 position already twice, and we've survived both times. Third time's the charm. Can we do it yet again? I like to think so. I think the transfers we've done have been very, very good for this team. I do feel we've got strong enough chance now to survive in the division this year. So yeah, in the transfer business, there's been quite a lot happening, and we'll dive straight into them straight away. But first, I wanted to touch on Ollie Palmer. We mentioned Ollie Palmer at the start about season number 3, saying there's good potential there. Maybe in the future he could be one for us. Last season, he had quite a few minutes for us in the end, playing from the bench 8 times, getting a few minutes, but then a 1.7 million bid came. And of course, because of all that debt in our transfer budget, we said, yeah, thinking maybe we'll see some of that money. We didn't see that money. We didn't see it. It went straight towards the club. And yeah, 1.7 million gone. Ollie Palmer leaves us. All the best to you, mate. I mean, he's in Berlin under 21, so I don't think we'll see any more of Ollie Palmer throughout this season, sadly enough. But onto our own transfers. We can start off first with Jordan Latotma coming in from West Bromwich Albion on a free transfer. Another right back option because, again, we have to rotate people again, and Jan Kotzer isn't really a right back for us, but Connor Bradley's been okay, but nothing amazing. So we thought Latotma can come in alongside this guy, Maitland Niles, who can also play a right back, but probably going to play more as a CM this season. Of course, Maitland Niles has been at Arsenal, has been at loan at West Brom, Southampton, Roma. He's been around the place for quite a few seasons now. Went over to France, to Lyon, within this universe you can see right now. And again, after a few seasons there, he's done well. He started there every season, but now he's came back over to England to come play for Huddersfield Town. Next up was Man United's very own, they bought for quite a few seasons, Andreas Pereira coming in on a free transfer. Of course, after leaving Man United, he went to Lazio, went to Flamengo on loan before going to Fulham for 11 million a couple of summers ago. He's been a starter at Fulham every season within this save, and now he's made the switch over on a free transfer to Huddersfield Town. Next up, we went back to Liverpool yet again, took Tyler Morton this time around as well. He's available on a free transfer. Again, he's worth quite a lot of money, on 45 grand a week as well. He's on a high transfer budget. You can see he's worth between 18 and 23 million. So we're bringing the right players for free transfers. We can make massive money on these players. But again, we're not seeing the money going to our budget. But Tyler Morton comes in now to probably be our starter in CM this season. Next up, we had Jaden Anthony coming after leaving Bournemouth on a free transfer, followed by striker at 40s, Iliondis. He's a Greek striker who's played Panathinaikos for the last couple of seasons and done very well, getting good numbers as well, getting 17 goals, 12 goals in the last 2 seasons. He was available for a free transfer, so we swooped him and bought him over to Huddersfield. We've managed to bring in Muric in goal for this season as well. Great keeper. He's been around the league for a couple of seasons now. We managed to get him as well on a free transfer here at Huddersfield. Joined by Filip Kostic as well. What a player, 34 years of age now, and he still looks really, really good in game as well. Of course, in real life, Kostic played at Juventus, Frankfurt, Hamburg, Stuttgart. He's been around Europe for a couple of seasons now, and he looks absolutely clinical. He comes in now after leaving Fulham on a free transfer to come join us here at Huddersfield. And then returning after that first season of the save, Finley Burns now comes on a free transfer from Man City over to Huddersfield Town. Again, he's not really developed very well. He's 24 years of age now. Hasn't been playing as well for Man City in the last few seasons. You can see on screen right now. He went on loan to Birmingham City. Didn't really play. Norwich but didn't play at all there. And again, Lomel last season played 6 appearances in the Belgium League. He ain't been playing, but he was about a free transfer. And I thought, you know what, Finley, we liked you here. We'll bring you back. Come join us over here at Huddersfield Town. And now going into our final season of this Huddersfield rebuild, this is how we're going to line up now. Oscar playing the cam role, Pratt out on the left-hand side, cut inside as well. Morton joined Los Santos in the middle of the pitch there. McKenna is Zima at the back line as well. It's a completely different team to how we started here at Huddersfield Town. A whole brand new 11 by this point as well. A few of the old players still survive on the bench, likes of Josh Karuma. He wants to lead the club now because he didn't play as many minutes. But again, a lot of the players that have gone now have moved on. We've brought a whole brand new team here at Huddersfield to keep us in the Premier League for one final season. Can we do it here at Huddersfield Town? Let's go now to the end of season number 5 and see, can we beat the drop for a final time here at Huddersfield Town? So again, this season here at Huddersfield Town, season number 5, we predict to get 20th place. And again, we managed to beat the drop with this team. 17th place position, Huddersfield Town remain in the Premier League by 1 point this time round. In 38 games, we won 9, drew 6, lost 23 games this season. We lost more games than Southampton and Sunderland, both below us this season, and somehow still managed to survive in the Premier League. And in fact, a lot of it I think does help with the goals. For we got 50 goals this season. You can see in 78 that we did concede more goals than like Southampton, but we did manage to score a lot more goals than them as well this season. And it was thankfully the end of the season, the boys dug their heels in. You can see now through January and February, they won only 1 game. We got to Newcastle, beat them 1-0. We thought it might be a turning point. We lost to Everton 5-1, and then from then onwards, we only lost 1 game the rest of that season. We beat Palace 6-1. We drew with Aston Villa, Leeds 2-2 and 1-1, losing to Tottenham Hotspur before beating Brighton 2-0. And on the final game of the season, we beat Bournemouth 5-1. A monster victory for the boys. Jaden Anthony gets his former club score in the 19th minute with Zima. Jan Kotro back in 2 from that right-hand side. Remember, we converted him to a right winger this season. He looks very, very good. And Oscar Bob also scoring in that game. And Jan Kotro is someone I want to touch on a little bit more as well quickly, because we mentioned about him being retrained and being moved into a more attacking role this season. And last season perhaps as well. You see him got on stream right now. In 35 games, he bagged 4, 7 assists, 6.65 rating. So it isn't a great average rating, but you can see the attributes on screen right now. He works very well as an attacking option this season, even working in the Premier League. And with our new striker, Fotis, he managed to make 13 goals this season. The rest of the goals are quite shared out. The likes of Morpay getting 5, Seema getting 5, Anthony getting 5. Forwards down from there. Most assists came from Jan Kotro this season, getting 7 assists this season. We mentioned him already and how good he has been so far within this save. But we came into this save, of course, of Huddersfield in real life in the bottom half of the Sky Bet Championship, struggling in the last few seasons in the Sky Bet Championship, getting relegated from the Premier League quite a while ago now, it feels, with the aim of getting Huddersfield back into the Premier League and making them an established club. I mean, I don't think we got them established because we've spent 0 money, but the fact we've survived 3 seasons in the Premier League without spending a single penny on a transfer, only 3 transfers on loans, is pretty darn good. Thank you for watching this video. If you have enjoyed the video, of course, please make sure you're subscribing to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and get in the comment section. Let me know who you want to see in the next rebuild on this channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again very, very soon.